Namaste, my name is Holly Semenoff, and today we'll be channeling straight from Source, and we'll be channeling all about miracles. And so I'll just go ahead and open up the channel. We are here, and as we speak straight from Source. And as always, allow yourself to feel the energy behind our words just as much as we speak to you, for it is an experience that we wish to give you just as much as information. And today we will be speaking about the continuation and expounding upon what we spoke about in our last channeling, which was all about karma. Now we will go further, as we promised, into speaking about the laws that are even above karma or above your third dimensional reality. We wish to go even deeper into A Course in Miracles. A Course in Miracles is in your world a channeling that came forward from another source, and yet from the same source of pure love and light. Miracles is what we wish to expound upon as we speak today. For there are miracles all the time, all around you occurring, and yet they seem mundane. These miracles are the fact that you are on a planet, existing in space, that you have come to realize in your modern science is much bigger than you can even comprehend. And as such, your experience of your place in the universe can also expand just as much, seeing yourself as either insignificant or as significant. You see, it is simply a matter of perception. So in this great, big, huge universe that is literally, from your measurements at least, billions and billions and billions of light years long, you are here on a planet created just for you that is absolutely perfect in accepting and embodying the physical existence. What is it then behind this physical body, behind this physical existence of the earth, of the trees, of the air, of the water, of the birds, of the animals, of the other people? What is it behind there that truly is expounding and enlivening this physical existence? These are the questions we wish you to ponder, because as we go straight into miracles, people think that it is something outside of them, but there is a deep connection within you to this place that moves with the miracle of life and the miracle of existence, and even beyond that, the miracle of the very essence that enlivens your awareness, your consciousness. Your physical body will pass, it will move on, but your consciousness and your awareness will live forever. This is the aspect of you that is ever living, that is infinite, and that is even beyond any labels. But the closest we can come to is the essence, the spirit, the soul of what it is that enlivens all of your existence on this third dimensional plane and even beyond. So when we speak into miracles, we are speaking into the place that enlivens this 3D reality, that gives it what it is, and going even beyond that, that can conquer your 3D laws or your 3D experience, that you have to must do this, to do this, to get this, and to do this. It is outside of time and space. It is not, in essence, connected to having to do anything to create a miracle or a change, and it connects to consciousness and awareness, the source that created all of your reality. When it comes to miracles, you can relate this to the mother who is able to lift the car off of her child that just got run over. How can she even tap in to that energy, to that muscular strength to lift the car? Anyone logically can look at that and know it is not because she has been weight training or can actually lift a car on her normal human consciousness. It is because she has tapped into an energy beyond the finite that is infinite, that no matter how much the car weighs, because of her willpower, because of her love for her child, she can lift that car. This is the miracle that we will speak about, though we want you to recognize that there are also miracles all around you every day. This is just one perception of a miracle that goes beyond overcoming your laws of the physical 3D world and what is absolutely logical to your physical human mind in concept and in body and in form. So, how do miracle workers truly heal those that seem unhealable? How do miracle workers create abundance where there was lack and scarcity, whether in food or in money or in clothing or in items and articles? How is this done? It is through the power of love. As we spoke about, when the mother was able to lift the car off the child, which if you research this, you will find this is not one story we are making up, but this has been recorded very often in your world because it is something that is most recognized. This is the story we are using. The mother lifting the car off the child that has just been run over. How is this possible? It is because of her love and her will. The will of human consciousness is strong, and so is the will of love, which is the will of your essence, your spirit, your soul. If you truly want to tap into the energy of creating miracles in your world, come from the energy of love. Now, this will create a whole other channeling of what is love, which we will speak about next. But for now, we will continue to focus on the aspect of how love creates miracles, because love itself is the strongest vibrational frequency that anyone can tap into. It can outlaw and negate any other frequency in your world as long as it is divine love, and knowing where this comes from is key to allow yourself to tap into truly working from a space of miracles. You must be able to tap in to the energy of love. Love itself is the most beautifying energy ever created and the strongest, and it will outlaw any other laws that are placed before it if it comes from a place of purity and of service and of truly showing up for another being and for yourself. Miracles are those things that cannot necessarily be described logically in your world, and because of this, miracles come from a place that goes beyond your world and yet created your world, as in planet Earth in a 3D sense. So allowing yourself to begin to tap into the energy, the awareness, the frequency, the consciousness of what is it behind the earth just being in its perfect place, in its perfect time, you just being here in a physical body that happens to give you everything you need to live a physical life. What is that? That, again, is this aspect of the ever-living soul, your spirit, your essence, To speak of miracles and to not speak of your essence, your soul, would be like speaking of an orange, but not talking about how it tastes and its color and everything beautiful about the orange. It would be, this is an orange. Nothing else. But what gives the orange its beauty? Its taste, its color, its texture, its scent. Everything about the orange gives it its beauty. And speaking to miracles, everything about your world is a miracle, even though not perceived. But you will allow yourself to really see that everything is a miracle if you give yourself the opportunity to touch, again, this energy behind. What is it that keeps your heart beating through your body? What is it that keeps the lungs breathing through your body? Notice, we are choosing aspects of your physical body for you to tune into because these are things that work, whether you are consciously thinking about them or not. They are still working. Miracles are still working, whether you are actually thinking about them or not. Your physical existence is a miracle, whether you are thinking about it or not. All these things are miracles, but go deeper. What is a miracle? It is, in your definition anyways, as a 3D human reality, something that cannot be explained by normal logical terms. So, going into miracles, we must speak to what is it that allows miracles to occur, that allows the terminally ill to get well, that allows a mother to lift the car off the child, that allows a couple to receive a child who were told they never would, and many other examples of many things in anyone's life that can be connected to a miracle. It is because there is an essence, something working behind the scenes. Again, what is it that keeps the heart beating, the lungs breathing? It is the essence of the spirit, the soul, the infinite self that is not tied to time and space. You can see it as the higher self, the bigger self, the true self, that can, if it does serve the highest good, create its own energy in your 3D world to negate the 3D terms of being terminally ill to being well, because it is a higher law that you can work with and tap into if you are truly connected to this essence of infinity, again of your own soul. Miracles take place because of the love that comes not only from the human expression, but the love that comes from the soul that is in fact what is enlivening the human expression in this world. To work miracles is to be in a place of connecting, even above what we spoke about in our previous channeling of karma, of an A, B, C, D sort of living into a higher picture of knowing that A, B, C, D exists, and you see all of it, and you have the picture of each one at the same time. You do not have to travel from A to B, to then see C, to then see D. You are working from a different state that sees the entire picture of A, B, C, D, and then can focus and hone any aspect of that picture. This is when you are coming from what we say is Dharma, or coming from spiritual sight, from spiritual breath, from spiritual feeling, from spiritual smelling, from spiritual taste, from spiritual touch. Notice that we connected all of your 5 sense organs that are seem to be human to the aspect of your spirit. Your spirit can see, feel, know, taste, hear, and touch. It does so, though, from a greater perspective, not necessarily just from your 5 human sense organs, but from the sense of the 6th sense, the spirit. And in this case, to create miracles, one must have a deep connection with their own essence, their spirit, their source. Now, this does not mean that if you do not have this connection, miracles will not occur in your life. There are miracles that can occur in anyone's life, and the number 1 aspect of creating a miracle means that it gets to come from the highest good for every individual involved, including you. So, if you are truly connected with the essence of your spirit and your soul, then if there is in case a situation that asks that you bring in the energy that created the situation in the first place, which is truly the source, then you can have a clear effect on the situation from its source, and you can command the situation to shift and to change in an aspect that will create healing and love. This, though, cannot move over top of another human's will. It must be in alignment with their own life's purpose. For if one were to command a shift and a change or a miracle to occur in someone else's life without truly tapping in to their essence, their spirit, their soul, then they would take away their own free will. But if the free wills match, and it truly does come from a space of love, you can command miracles. Know when we say this, though, why is it that one would want to command a miracle? If you find in your head, it would appear that you become a saint and that you truly can connect to this world in a very saintly way. That is not necessarily coming from a space of true love and source. A miracle will always create the highest good for everyone involved. So if you truly want to tap into miracles, you will know that you are doing it from a place of purity, of true service in love. And the miracle will just simply become a natural part of your life because that is the dimension in which you come from. And you know that there are no ripples that do not affect yourself and everyone else, because every ripple, every power of will, whether done from a karmic space or from a dharmic space, from your soul, your essence, will create a ripple. And you will utilize that command of miracles or of the greater perspective of the essence of soul in a responsible way that will never take away anyone else's free will. Speaking clearer to miracles, you can begin to recognize more miracles in your space if you allow yourself to recognize the miracle of your own life. There are, again, as we will repeat, miracles happening constantly all around you. Yet, when you're not open to seeing them, you will not see them. This is why it is important to allow yourself to begin to truly perceive in presence the miracle of life, the miracle of you, the miracle of everything around you. Then you will in fact connect to a deeper knowing or dimension within your own reality that again enlivens all of it, that then you can begin to perceive the miracles all around you. Becoming attuned to that state of miracles, you can then begin to ask for these miracles to be shown to you that are always with you. And then in that sense, you will connect not only to a miracle, but to the essence of what is it that even enlivens this world, to your essence, your spirit, your source. So that is the true miracle worker. It is your own spirit connecting to that aspect of who you are will allow you to truly be a miracle worker, because you will sense, know, feel, taste, and touch from the essence of your own spirit while in this 3D world. And then guess what? You will become a miracle worker for others, because they will not know how you heard their call or their prayer. You felt their despair or their wanting of connection. Or you tasted their thirst, their hunger, and offered them food because you connected to a unified field that again allowed you to recognize another's needs, and in such you appeared to them to serve their need, and they may say, "Wow, this is a miracle. How did you know?" It is because you were tapped into the source of your essence, your soul, which was tapped into the unified field, which could tap in to their need, and then you could show up and serve in their need, not necessarily in their want, but in their need, because that is the true miracle worker. It will give what is needed, not necessarily what is wanted, for the need will serve you just as much as it will the other person, and it will not negate anyone, and the ripple will be felt throughout this point in space and all eternity. The law of miracles is the law of one, being one with yourself and expanding even beyond that. You will recognize that you are all connected. Being one does not mean you lose yourself in another, but you recognize where you can be of service, or where you can be a miracle worker, where you can answer another's prayers, another's needs, and others' knowings of what it is that they truly get to have support for. Now, in this sense, keep listening to this recording over and over, as it may seem that it is out of reach to the heart and the mind. The more that you listen to it, the more you will understand that the greatest thing you can do to tap into life as a miracle is to see it as such. And then you will have the capacity to open yourself up to showing up in miraculous ways for other people. And for now, we bid you farewell. So in this channeling, what I was really seeing and feeling was this ripple effect, but it was floating like just above our so-called, 3D world, or our linear world, our logical world, that again, there is this, it almost looked like plasma, or like this frequency, this wave that is actually giving life to everything in our 3D world. And if we're able to tap into, again, what is it that is behind, this tree growing perfectly into what is meant to be, or, water being what it is, like, what is that? Like, what is that intelligence? What is that divinity behind anything that is 3D? But tapping into that, when you're really able to kind of sit in that and tap into that, it opens up this doorway to really connect to, it literally almost looked like this plasma connected unit to like everything, to be able to not only manifest like miracles, but to even feel where you can show up as this so-called miracle worker for another person, because you see like, oh my gosh, that person is, feeling lonely and afraid and unconnected, and you don't necessarily see it in this 3D world. Like, I look out of my physical eyes and see this person's alone. It's like I feel it in my heart. And so not even being near them, I feel that in my heart, and then I like call them and be, hey, how are you? And they're like, oh my gosh, how'd you know I was feeling so alone? It's because there was this connection created behind all of this so-called 3D existence. And then not only do you begin to recognize these miracles, but you begin to have the capacity to even show up for other people in what might seem like being a miracle worker, but what you're really just doing is tapping into this source that enlivens everything. And yeah, it was so incredible to just feel that connection to this unified feel, or this plasma is what I just kept feeling and seeing myself in, that's connected to everything else. So like every ripple, every move is felt. And the deepest thing that we can do, any of us, is just every single day taking a moment to just tap into what is existence, and not necessarily in a way of like, what is my purpose, but what is this existence that I'm in, and just seeing the awe and beauty of it is really what can open you up to even recognize those miracles within you and all around you all the time, but truly then being able to show up as this miracle worker in anyone's life. So thank you so much for joining us, and till we meet again, namaste.